Hello there, welcome back to Sequel-A-Thon IV. I'm Scotty, you're not, and we're looking at Now You See Me 2, the sequel to Now You See Me that everybody wanted, and then when they got it, they were like, okay. Thanks. Look, I don't hate this movie, but there are some issues. So, first issue, no Isla Fisher. Apparently she got pregnant and was unable to do the film. So you wait. I understand. Maybe I get pregnancies, they take up a lot of time. You get pregnant, that's 9 months, and then you and then you have some, after time with that. Maybe they could have shot around it, like they've done in sitcoms before, use body doubles, that sort of thing. I don't know. There's not enough explained of what happened in this movie to the character to justify her not being there. All they really say is she got sick of waiting and left. That makes no sense. That makes no sense. If they're all want to be a part of this secret group, why would the eye just let her leave? She knows things. Those things that no people wouldn't know. It's a very lazy excuse just to say, she got sick of waiting, so she left. But you can't just leave a secret society. That's not how it works. It makes no sense. And even how they bring in Lizzie Kaplan's character still makes no sense. She shows up at Jesse Eisenberg's apartment, does a little magic show thing, and then when Jesse Eisenberg shows up to meet the others at the Eye, she's just there, and Dylan goes, oh, she's part of the group now. Why? She's done nothing to prove herself. She did those little magic tricks for him, but he's not the leader. It's so lazy. It reeks of this was supposed to be Henley, but Isla Fisher dropped out at the last minute, and they didn't have enough time to rewrite the whole thing, so they just wrote little blurbs to write her in, and then occasionally throughout the film, characters will reference that she's the new girl. That's what it felt like. It doesn't feel like a new of enough character in this. It feels like they just wrote it as Henley and added stuff. Oh, she's the new girl. Yeah. Number 2, bad thing. Merritt's twin brother. Okay, so I understand if you want to have a family member of one of the characters show up. That's fine. That's fine. Have Merritt. Let's give Merritt a brother. But you don't need to really, you don't really need to have him played by Woody Harrelson. And you don't need to have this character be very annoying throughout the film. Like, he's very, very annoying. And he keeps popping up. And you just want him to go away. But he won't go away. He just keeps coming back. And I have an itch that won't go away. Coming back. And, when did this come out? 2016, which was, I don't know, the wig that they have on Woody Harrelson feels like the wig from the end of Venom. Like, he wore it, and he was like, hey, can I borrow this for filming this other movie? Even though he would have been filming. Maybe he borrowed the wig from here to film his post-credit scene at the end of Venom. I don't know. This is 2016, Venom's 2018, maybe not. I don't know, but it just seems like the same hair type thing. And this character is basically useless. There's no reason for him. Doesn't anything other than he's just another person for them to hypnotize. Merritt having a brother adds nothing to this film. Nothing. If I may add some positives to this, I liked the inclusion of Harry Potter himself, Daniel Radcliffe. I think he made for an interesting villain. Don't like the stock reason, oh, surprise, he's secretly Michael Caine's son. Fine, sure. Even though at the end they try to play it off like, I was with a lot of women. Who knows whose son you are? I'm just like, no, you're not getting away with that. He's your son. Okay? And it's fine. Like, this guy is winning, you know, he's one-upping them, you know, throughout this part. And then he's revealed that he's Arthur's son and say, oh, it's revenge. Okay, sure. He doesn't have the same last name because he's illegitimate son. He's a bastard. He's not Pac, but he's a bastard. So, yeah. You know? I also feel there wasn't enough magic showmanship. You know what I'm saying? Like, in the first one, there was quite a bit of, hey, we're going to do this, and they're on a stage and doing that stuff. We start out with that, but then it's interrupted by Harry Potter, who then kidnaps them, right? And then Mark Ruffalo goes to jail and then has to work with Morgan Freeman. And then Morgan Freeman betrays Mark Ruffalo. And Mark Ruffalo is thrown in the same safe his father did, but he gets out and meets the others. Right? Like, Mark Ruffalo is on his own little journey in this. Because he's still trying to play the cops through a loop. And Sana Lathan comes in here to really not do much of anything. In fact, I think it would have made sense if it was the French detective from the first one. She comes in and she doesn't do jack squat in this movie. The cops are a non-presence. They pop in here and then to show that they're still in this movie, but they don't do anything to add to it at all. Because the bulk of the movie is spent with our characters trying to do other stuff for Harry Potter. Speaking of which, they have to get this thing called the stick, which is like a card. And so we see them earlier practicing throwing around playing cards to try to hide them. That was enough. We didn't need an extended, what feels like 10-minute scene of them trying to hide this card by flinging it back and forth between each other while they're getting very extensively patted down by the security people. That feels like it takes forever. If I was in a situation where I was being patted down this much, I think I would say, you know what? Fuck it. I'll wait outside. You guys go in. Because this is just, I know they're on a mission, but this isn't, it's getting to the point where it's almost an invasion of privacy as much as they pat these people down. Like, come on. It's ridiculous. And it's not, and you may think, well, it's security. That's not why they're doing it. That's not why it takes so long. It takes so long so they can show off the trick of them flinging this CGI card around and showing how they're doing all this stuff. I don't care. At one point, I'm like, can we just end this? It's just too much. It takes too long. And so, I want to know why. Like, they go in and they said that one of them has to be a floozy, so they say it's Lizzie Kaplan because she's the woman. Haha, fine. So then, why when they go in does it automatically, immediately get turned around, and now Jesse Eisenberg is the hussy, the floozy bimbo, so to speak. And this guy, who is later revealed to be part of the Eye, which adds to the more confusion because if he was a part of it, don't you think he would have had it set up where they can get in and out pretty quick without all the extensive pat downs? You know? I just don't get it. Like, hey, you have people on the inside, but we're still gonna pat you down for 10 fucking minutes. Right. There are two twists in this movie, and I like the first one. I do not like the second one. The first one is eventually they try to set up their plan, but it appears as if Merritt's unnecessary brother has figured out what's going on. They're brought onto the plane, and then they're thrown out of the plane to their deaths, but it turns out, no, they're not, because they're still on the Thames, in a plane on a floating cardboard box thingy, and it turns out they were hypnotized into doing this. I like that. And then they out everything. They show that Dylan is involved. Like Jack was already like they were like Walter already out of them at the beginning of the movie, but like, you know, for the first time he's introduced as Dylan Shrike instead of Dylan Rhodes. And he's like introduced and everything. And they basically tell how they did all this stuff and everything, except for how the stuff they couldn't accomplish without CGI. They don't explain that. But like, and then, you know, and they explain everything was set up this way, and they tricked them, and now all the bad guys are going to go to jail again for Arthur, I guess. Yeah, but also the FBI have Morgan Freeman with them and in handcuffs. He escapes. So where is he at? Well, that leads me to twist number 2, which is a twist that pisses me off because it literally makes no sense. So they escape from the FBI, and they end up going back to this mansion from the Eye, where we have Jay Chow and his grandmother character, and it's revealed that the guy who was in charge of frisking them basically was in on it. And then Dylan goes into an office where he looks at some stuff, finds a picture of his dad, who has been recast and is not Elias Koteas, but it should be, and a picture of his dad and Morgan Freeman. And it's revealed that actually Morgan Freeman was a part of the Eye the whole time, and in fact was Lionel Shrike's partner in the role of an antagonist rival to fool the people. Bullshit. This reeks of, hey, we had that big reveal in the first one. We need another one. Morgan Freeman's in on it. That's what it reeks of. Because in the context of the first film, this makes no sense. Because in the first one, Morgan Freeman's job was a professional debunker. He debunked all magic. Now, I know there's an episode of So Weird where there's a guy debunking mediums and revealed that he's actually a medium, but this is different. Because, you can smell, in some movies you can smell that sometimes, you watch a movie and you watch the sequel, and they throw in a twist in the sequel that if you really think about the first one, doesn't make any sense, because in the first one, it wasn't canon, like, say, Darth Vader being Luke Skywalker's father, or even Leia being Luke Skywalker's sister. They were never supposed to be the twist. Right? It was going to be, Vader killed Luke's father. There was another sister who was a secret Jedi. But they were not supposed to be the twist that they came out of. And that's what this feels like to me, is that they just needed to throw in the twist because that's what they did in the last one. So Morgan Freeman's in on it. Bullshit. It didn't make sense to me the first time I watched it, and it doesn't make sense to me now on what is like my 5th time watching this movie. It's just so frustrating that it just feels like they had to throw a twist in there, and that's all they can come up with. I would have believed that Sana Lathan was in on it over Morgan fucking Freeman. Sorry, it went up my nose. But yeah, and then they end with them going to a special room. Now, after this came out, there are rumors of a sequel, Now You See Me 3, which is greenlit, is going to come out next year, or I think it's next year. Either next year or 2026. And they supposedly were also starting on a spin-off with Jay Chow and his grandma character. Don't need that one. I'm just sick of spin-offs with characters that we didn't ask for, like Agatha all along. Yes, she was a popular character. Don't need a spin-off. Not at all. Echo. She was in Hawkeye. Didn't ask for a spin-off. Got that. Nobody cares. right? Just because a character tests well with audiences don't mean it's like, ooh, people like that character. Let's make a spin-off. And I haven't heard a single person who even liked Echo in in Hawkeye. I didn't. She was really a nothing character in that, and I never watched the spin-off, so I wouldn't know. I didn't watch her show. Why would I? It wasn't needed. And I probably won't watch Agatha either because, well, it took too fucking long. 3 years for this thing to come out? That's way too long for something. Like, think about it, right? Oh, she was popular in 2020 fucking 1 when the show came out. Now, 3 years later, it's a little too late. I was hoping they'd just scrap it. But no, we got something going on, and I don't really care. So yeah, sequel, yes. Spin-off, nah, no thanks, don't need it. But yeah, and hopefully, supposedly, I guess, Isla Fisher's coming back. I don't know what that does for Lizzie Kaplan now. Is she just gonna be, oh, she left? Because the people that would just walk. She left, then Henley decided I'm coming back. I don't know. I'm giving this the middle of the road. There's some good things about it, but it just, I don't know. It doesn't work for me. But yeah, so what are your thoughts on Now You See Me 2? Then in the comments, someone should like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. I'm Scott, and I'll see you in the next one.